It's the Champions League final, 2006. Eto'o bursts past Arsenal's defense, slams in the equalizer, and lifts the trophy hours later. He's the king of Europe again. Cameras flash, fans roar, history is made. But behind the trophies, the glory, and the relentless fire on the pitch, there's another Eto'o, a dark and more controversial figure, a man admired by millions and feared by those who've crossed him. This is the untold story of Samuel Eto'o, a football god and a leader shadowed by scandal. The Champions League final unfolded in Paris before more than 79,000 fans watching live, along with a global audience of over 100 million viewers. When Eto'o darted between defenders and drilled the ball into the net, cameras lingered not just on the goal but on the electric reaction of the supporters, the bench and Ronaldinho pumping his fist. That equalizer wasn't merely a goal, it was a cultural lightning strike for African football, for Barcelona, and for a nation yearning for global recognition. Samuel Eto'o was born in the town of Inter in the littoral region of Cameroon, where most children played barefoot on dusty pitches beside the Wouri River. He joined Kaji Sports Academy, the same grassroots setup that produced Rigobert Song. With no structured league system, scouts hunted talent during local tournaments. Eto'o's blistering pace stood out. At 15, a local coach carried tapes of his games to Europe. Real Madrid sent scouts, and despite their failure to communicate in French, they saw a diamond in the rough, fast, fearless, and raw. Real Madrid signed him, but Spain wasn't ready for a confident African teenager who didn't play politics. Madrid loaned him out, discarded him, until he found a home in Mallorca. There he became a symbol, scoring goals, feeding fans out of his own pocket, and bringing home the Copa del Rey. Then came the breakthrough. In 2004, Barcelona handed him a second chance. Eto'o made them regret ever doubting him, ever. At Barca, he was electric, the finishing touch to Ronaldinho and Messi's magic. In 2006 and 2009, he scored in 2 Champions League finals. He was the first player to win back-to-back trebles with Barcelona and Inter Milan. But even in his finest hour, the tension was building. Inside dressing rooms, behind closed doors, Eto'o was never shy. He called out teammates. He clashed with Ronaldinho. When Eto'o publicly criticized Ronaldinho, it stemmed from frustration over a perceived drop in standards. In a 2007 press interview, he said, "Ronaldinho wasn't giving 100%, and that frustrated me." Gulf States reported that a small Qatar-based youth club had offered him $100,000 per month bonuses to coach, which he declined, another sign of his pride. During that 2008-09 season, Eto'o scored 36 goals but also had heated dressing room rows with teammates over training discipline, witnessed by journalists and later revealed in teammates' memoirs. He also accused Pep Guardiola of betrayal. Even after scoring 36 goals in one season, Guardiola traded him away for Zlatan Ibrahimovic, a move many saw as personal, not tactical. At Inter Milan, under Mourinho, he thrived again. Yet even there, he was already showing signs of what was to come. The stubborn streak, the obsession with control, the outbursts. The most prominent incident occurred in November 2010, when Eto'o headbutted Chievo defender Bostian Cesar during a Serie A match, resulting in a 0-0 draw. This act of aggression led to significant fallout. Javier Zanetti and others criticized Eto'o's reckless behavior, while Wesley Sneijder and some teammates defended him, citing Cesar's provocation. Eto'o was banned for 3 matches and fined €30,000 by the Italian Football Federation. He issued a public apology, admitting his mistake but emphasizing the provocation he faced. On the international stage, he brought Cameroon gold at the Olympics and 2 AFCON titles. But in 2011, he led a national team boycott over unpaid bonuses. Cameroon's Football Federation refused to pay players travel bonuses. Captain Eto'o led a strike. The federation suspended him for 15 games. President Paul Biya personally intervened, publicly overruling the federation and ordering the ban reduced. Select committee minutes later revealed the federation had not budgeted for those bonuses, forcing players to contribute out of pocket. Government cables leaked showed Eto'o had threatened to permanently retire from international football unless reforms happened. In 2012, he refused to play a crucial AFCON qualifier, calling the federation amateurish. Cameroon failed to qualify. His passion was real, but so was his volatility. Are you enjoying this video? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing content on African heroes just like this. Then came a moment that stunned millions and cracked the public image Eto'o had so carefully cultivated. In December 2022, during the World Cup in Qatar, Eto'o was filmed physically attacking an Algerian YouTuber outside Stadium 974, not during a match but during the tournament's downtime. The YouTuber, Saïd Mamouni, confronted Eto'o and referred to him as Gassana, a loaded insult implying he had bribed Gambian referee Bakary Gassama during the controversial 2022 World Cup qualifier between Cameroon and Algeria. Tensions escalated rapidly. Footage captured Eto'o's entourage first smashing the YouTuber's camera before Eto'o himself lunged forward and struck him with a knee to the chest. The video exploded online, racking up over 1.2 million views within hours. Public reaction was swift and divided. Eto'o soon posted a statement on social media claiming he had been relentlessly provoked with racist slurs and insults. "I regret my behavior, but not defending my dignity," he wrote. For some, the statement was an understandable human response. For others, it felt like carefully worded damage control from a man who had momentarily dropped the mask. After retirement, Eto'o became president of FECAFOOT, Cameroon's football federation. For many, it felt like destiny, a legend giving back, a fighter ready to fix the system that failed him. But instead, the scandals multiplied. The election itself was controversial. Eto'o ran on a reformist agenda, promising to clean up Cameroonian football, boost local leagues, and resolve internal mismanagement. He won in December 2021, defeating Seydou Mbonjoya, backed by a wave of support and former players. He tried to extend his presidency from 4 to 7 years without consultation. The attempt to change FECAFOOT statutes raised alarms across the football world, as it bypassed both the executive committee and regional delegates. FIFA banned him for offensive behavior during the Under-20 Women's World Cup. CAF fined him $200,000 for partnering with a betting company, violating FIFA's ethics code. FIFA's disciplinary action came after Eto'o was seen aggressively confronting officials in Costa Rica during the tournament. The controversial deal with a betting company, signed in 2022, also sparked backlash in Cameroon, where many saw it as undermining the integrity of the domestic league. Accusations of match fixing followed. Leaked recordings suggested he tried to promote Victoria United by influencing referees. The audio recordings, published by French investigative outlets, included Eto'o allegedly assuring the president of Victoria United that his club would be promoted this season, no matter what. He was accused of sidelining goalkeeper Andre Onana for personal reasons. The Onana saga, meanwhile, intensified during the 2022 World Cup, when the star goalkeeper was mysteriously dropped after a reported disagreement over tactics with manager Rigobert Song, though insiders suggested Eto'o's hand was involved. A federal investigation in the U.S. began after $600,000 in match revenue mysteriously appeared in Eto'o's personal account. The U.S. Department of Justice became interested in the suspicious funds after a friendly match between Cameroon and Mexico in Los Angeles, where revenue was supposed to be directed toward FECAFOOT. Even more disturbing, reports of unpaid child support from multiple relationships, some dating back 2 decades. In Italy and Spain, courts found him guilty, confirming paternity through DNA and ordering payments he allegedly ignored for years. One of the most publicized cases came from a woman in Parma, Italy, who first filed a claim in the early 2000s. The court confirmed paternity in 2015. Another Spanish ruling in 2022 added to his legal troubles, when a Madrid judge ordered retroactive payments and described Eto'o's behavior as evasive and negligent during the proceedings. The media in both countries covered these stories widely, chipping away at his once pristine image. In 2022, Spanish authorities convicted Eto'o of tax fraud, 3.3 million euros unpaid. He admitted guilt, received a 22-month suspended sentence, and paid a fine. Jail was avoided, but the stain remained. The charges dated back to his time at FC Barcelona, where he allegedly channeled image rights through offshore companies to avoid paying taxes between 2006 and 2009. The court noted that Eto'o had knowingly concealed income and that his financial advisors had also been complicit, though Eto'o took sole responsibility during sentencing. The case mirrored similar scandals involving Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. In 2024, as coach Mark Bryce arrived, Eto'o's staff allegedly seized hotel equipment and buses intended for the national team's training camp. Bryce publicly described arriving to find no balls, jerseys, or buses booked by the federation. He resigned in July 2025, citing systemic interference. As of mid-2025, another trial looms for financial misconduct involving 455,000 euros from a match against Russia. Once the symbol of African excellence, Eto'o is now the center of a storm. The match in question, played in 2022 as part of Cameroon's World Cup preparations, reportedly generated significant revenue through sponsorship and broadcast rights. Investigators are probing whether Eto'o personally handled funds that should have been transferred to Fecafoot accounts. The case is expected to go to trial later this year, drawing even more scrutiny on his turbulent presidency and personal affairs. And now, a new front has opened. Recently, a coalition of Cameroon's players formally called on FIFA to suspend Eto'o as Fecafoot president. Led by lawyer Emmanuel Nsalai, they accuse him of undermining transparency and integrity in the game, stressing it's not an attack on his legendary career, but a plea to save Cameroonian football from deeper crisis. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more inspiring stories and don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing content.